Student, in this video we will collect some important formulae from the chapter superposition of waves. So you can take notes also. Important formulae, which are the important formulae in this chapter. So first formula, we know that wave velocity v, it is nothing but frequency into wavelength. Second one, frequency is nothing but reciprocal of period, and this frequency is also related with omega, that is angular velocity, 2 pi n. We can represent omega as 2 pi by t. It is very simple. Then third, wave vector k, it is 2 pi upon lambda, which is nothing but ratio of angular velocity to linear velocity. Then fourth, path difference, or we can say initially phase difference. So phase difference, I will represent phase difference as a del. So del is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference. Into path difference, represented as a del x. Difference of distance, del x. Difference of angle, path difference, del. Then this phase difference del we can also represent in terms of time interval, 2 pi by t into time interval del t. Then sixth one, we can take different form of equation of SHP wave. Equation of SHP means simple harmonic progressive wave. Equation of SHP wave. There are different form. So y is equal to a sine in bracket omega t minus kx. This negative sign indicate that the wave is traveling along positive x-axis. If wave is in reverse direction, that is along negative x-axis, then it will be plus. So remember sign convention here. Y is equal to a sine 2 pi. Omega is nothing but 2 pi n, and k is nothing but 2 pi upon lambda. We can take 2 pi common. It becomes small t upon capital T minus x upon lambda. This is important form of SHP wave. It is given in the book. So y a sine, again 2 pi, I will represent 2 pi n t minus x upon lambda. Then y is equal to a sine 2 pi n small t, and here x, since we take n common here, this becomes v, small t minus x upon v. So y is equal to a sine 2 pi n is omega vt minus x upon v. So it becomes y is equal to a sine omega by v is nothing but k, vt minus x. So these are the various form of equation of SHP wave. So in problems, any form may be given to you, and by comparing that form with this standard form, we can find out the various value of capital T, that is time period, then wavelength, amplitude, and so on. So these are equation of SHP wave. Then when two SHP wave superimpose on each other, there is formation of stationary wave, and the equation of stationary wave, it becomes y is equal to twice a cos 2 pi x upon lambda into sine omega t, where this term, it is resultant amplitude. Resultant amplitude, it is r, denoted by r. So r is equal to, we get twice a cos 2 pi x upon lambda. So these are, it is minimum, that is 0 for node condition, and r is maximum, that is plus minus 2a for anti-node condition. These nodes and antinodes are formed on stationary wave. So on solving this, we found that the distance between any two node del x, it is lambda by 2, as well as distance between any two antinode, it is lambda by 2. Distance between one node and one antinode, that distance, it is lambda by 4. For one node and one antinode, the distance is lambda by 4. So question may be asked on this way. Then later on, we have formed this stationary wave for closed and open pipes. So for closed pipe, the fundamental frequency, that is NC, frequency for closed pipe, it becomes V upon 4L. Remember here, and only odd harmonics are present in closed pipe. That means integral, only odd integral multiple of fundamental frequency, NC, thrice NC, 5NC, 7NC, and so on. Only odd harmonics are present in the vibration of closed pipe. Then end correction, which is nothing but distance between open end of tube. If suppose this is tube, then this vibrating tuning fork and open end of tube, it is called as end correction. So this end correction is 0.3D for closed pipe. If end correction is given to you, there will be correction in this formula. It becomes V upon 4 L plus E. This is 0.3D, where D is diameter of pipe. Remember, D is diameter of pipe. There is one experiment, resonance tube experiment, which is completely based on the theory of closed pipe, and in that experiment we have find out the velocity of sound. It is twice n L1 minus L. These are two resonating length, L1 and L. These are called as resonating length, and we get the velocity of sound at that room temperature, twice n L1 minus L. Then end correction, we can find out N1 L1 minus N2 L2 upon N1 minus N2. This is formula for end correction. Later on, we have applied the theory for open pipe. Remember, the pipe which is open at both ends, that is termed as open pipe, and here the pipe is closed at one end, it is termed as closed pipe. So for open pipe, the fundamental frequency, it is V upon twice L. If end correction is to be considered, then here end corrections are present at two ends, here also and here also. So this formula becomes V upon twice L plus 2E, because we have to consider end correction two times, and E is nothing but 0.3D, D for diameter of this pipe. Then second one, remember, in open pipe all harmonics are present. All harmonics are present. That is fundamental frequency N0, twice N0, thrice N0, 4 N0, and so on. all harmonics are present for the vibration of open pipe. Here end correction for this open pipe, end correction E, it can be obtained N1 L1 minus N2 L2 upon 2 times N1 minus N2. Then this formation of stationary wave, it is done on the string also. So that is called as modes of vibration. Modes of vibration on string. So the frequency of vibration of that string, which is tied in between two rigid support in this way, and here stationary waves are formed having different loops. So the fundamental frequency, that means first mode of vibration. In first mode of vibration, only one loop is formed here. 2 nodes and 1 antinode. So the formula for fundamental frequency for vibration of string, it is N is equal to 1 upon twice L under root T by M. This is very important formula. N is equal to 1 upon twice L under root T by M. L is vibrating length, T is tension applied on the string, and M is mass per unit length. That is, we can take small m as capital M by L, mass per unit length. So if density is given to you, the same formula becomes N is equal to 1 upon twice L R under root T upon pi rho, where R is radius. R is radius of this string, rho is density, this is volume density, and this is linear density. This is the difference. Small m is linear density and rho is volume density. So depending on this formula, we can state that N, frequency of vibration, it is inversely proportional to length. So we can write N1 L1 is equal to N2 L2. It is inversely proportional to radius. Again N1 R1 is equal to N2 R2. It is directly proportional to square root T, that is N upon root T is equal to constant, and N is inversely proportional to rho, that is N1 root of rho 1 is equal to constant. So these are the various formulas. Again, stop. Formula that is depend on the vibration of string. So in vibration of string, all harmonics are present. That means if we consider N is fundamental frequency of vibration of string, the formula is already we have given. Then the next harmonic, this is first harmonic, second harmonic will be twice N, thrice N, 4N and so on. That is NP with harmonic, it becomes P plus 1 times En for the vibration of string. Then 12th one, it will depends on Melday's experiment. So this experiment also depends on the stationary wave, where the vibrating tuning fork is used, and the vibration of this tuning fork, it is passes on the string, which is passes over this pulley, and there is one pan. In this pan the weights are added to create tension on the string, and here stationary wave is formed. So in this Melday's experiment, we can do this experiment by two methods. One is parallel position method and other one is perpendicular position method. In perpendicular position method, the vibrations are like this. The vibration of tuning forks are perpendicular to the length of string, and in parallel the vibration of tuning fork is parallel to the length of string. So here N, capital N, frequency of vibration of tuning fork. It is 2 times the frequency of vibration of string. And in perpendicular position method, capital N, it is equal to small n. So we know that this small n, it is nothing but 1 upon twice L under root T by M. To cancel, we get 1 upon L under root T by M. This is formula for parallel position method. Here we get 1 upon twice L under root T by M. Capital N is frequency of vibration of tuning fork and small n is frequency of vibration of string. So one more important aspect is here, how many loops are formed on the string. Distinct loops are created here. So there is relation, important relation between tension created on the string and number of loops. So that relation is Tp square is equal to constant. Remember this, Tp square is equal to constant. Problem may be asked on this formula, Tp square is equal to constant. Later on, important aspect, bits. So the formation of bits takes place if there is slight difference in the frequency of two arriving or superimposing wave. So one wave having equation 2 pi n1t, another wave having equation a sin 2 pi en2t. On superposition of these two waves which are slightly differ in frequency en1, en2, we get resultant equation twice a cos 2 pi in bracket n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t into sin n1 plus n2 by 2 into t. So this is the resultant amplitude A, twice a cos 2 pi n1 minus n2 upon 2 into t. So for waxing, where we heard loud sound, this amplitude, it is maximum plus minus twice a, and for waning, where we heard minimum sound, this resultant amplitude is 0, and the time interval for successive waxing as well as waning, it becomes 1 upon n1 minus n2. So reciprocal of this time interval is nothing but bit frequency, and that bit frequency, it is mod of n1 minus n2. Then last one formula is remaining here. If suppose first wave having amplitude a1 sin omega t and another wave which shows slightly differ in the phase and amplitude a2 sin omega t plus phi. So there is phase difference of phi here, and amplitudes a1 a2 are given to you. Then on superposition of these two waves, the resultant amplitude r, it is given by a1 square plus a2 square 2 times a1 a2 cos phi. This is the resultant amplitude, and this resultant amplitude, it will depends on this phase phi. So we can take different condition here. What will happen if phi is 0? What will happen if phi is pi? What will happen if phi is pi by 2? We get different. So maximum amplitude R max, we get a1 square plus a2 square, a1 plus a2 whole square, because cos 0, it becomes 1 here if they are in phase, and we get here a1 plus a2 whole square, and minimum resultant amplitude we get a1 minus a2 whole square. So one important formula we can draw here, I max upon I minimum, ratio of intensities, I max upon I minimum. As we know that intensity is directly proportional to amplitude square, resultant amplitude square. So I max upon I minimum, we get a1 plus a2 whole square upon a1 minus a2 whole square. This is the important formula.